Am I wrong for calling the police on my sister and pressing charges? So I, 17 female, have two sisters, Lauren, 25 female, and Avery, 15 female. Me and Avery are really close, but Lauren and I have had a lot of differences, to put it lightly. Lauren doesn't like that Avery and I are so close. Me and Avery were talking about how Lauren has done a bunch of things that have hurt us. She's self-absorbed and honestly not a very nice person. One example is that she started talking to our mom again. We wouldn't have minded if she had kept it private, but she posted it all over every social media platform and tried to get other family members to talk to our mom too, even though our mom abused me and Avery. We wanted to have a conversation with Lauren to set some boundaries, like asking her not to post everything on social media and not talk about it constantly. So we sat her down to talk. Lauren got upset and said we were trying to control her, that it was unfair, that we couldn't make that call, and that trying to set boundaries was immature. I'm a seamstress. I make my own clothing and my sister's. And my sewing machine is a Singer, which is a really good brand. It costs $200 and I use it constantly. While Lauren was yelling at me and making nasty threats, saying she was going to kill me in my sleep and beat the crap out of me, I told her she needed to get out of me and Avery's room if she was going to act like that. Avery agreed and told her she could stay in the rest of the house but not our room. Lauren got even more upset. She grabbed a metal pole from under the bed, the kind that helps support the frame. She saw my sewing machine and started smashing it. She completely broke it. Then she kept yelling more threats. I called the police and explained what was happening. When the police arrived, Lauren was still screaming. Our grandparents told her that if she was going to act like that, she couldn't stay at the house anymore or come back without a long conversation. The police saw her taking things off my vanity and throwing them. I tried to talk to her, and she started threatening the police too, saying she was going to beat them up. I told her she needed to calm down because she was acting like a 3-year-old. Lauren started crying harder, then came up to me and pushed me as hard as she could. The police asked if I wanted to press charges for trespassing and assault. I said absolutely. They asked my grandparents if they wanted to press charges too, and they said yes. Lauren got arrested. She was tased twice because she kept throwing a tantrum, and they eventually had to put her in a wrap. She kept screaming and threatening us as they took her to jail. Now she's asking us to bail her out, and we told her no. She's really upset, and her husband and his side of the family have been calling me and Avery, telling us we're horrible people, saying they'll bail her out but don't even have the money. They're saying they'll never talk to us again and that we'll never see our nephew again. According to them, Avery and I are terrible for pressing charges against our own flesh and blood. Here's the thing. I've been in situations before where I was physically assaulted twice, and I didn't press charges. I'm an anarchist, and pressing charges goes against my beliefs. This is the only time I've ever pressed charges. Normally I wouldn't, and I've said multiple times to friends and family that I would never press charges against anyone. So I can kind of see why some people might think I'm in the wrong.
Am I wrong for screaming at my family that they effing ruined my birthday? I feel like I'm losing my mind right now, so I apologize in advance if it's unclear. For the sake of this post, and for privacy reasons, my mom is Linda, 52 female. My first sister is Jade, 27 female. My second sister is Bella, 25 female. My brother is Luca, 20 male. My dad is John, 55 male, my friend is Eric, 17 male, and my brother-in-law is Kyle, 27 male. I am 16 female. So my birthday was yesterday. The day had gone by well until it was time to go to dinner. You see, in my family, the celebrant always gets taken out to eat with other people they pick. It's simple. The celebrant chooses who they want to join them, and then they go out to a place of their choice. Naturally, as it was my birthday, I figured I would be given that privilege too. The plan was for it to be just Jade, Kyle, Eric, and myself. Just 4 people were supposed to go, including me. Unfortunately, that plan fell through as Kyle was running late, so Linda decided to tag along. I had already been a little irked because Linda had been telling me that I'm wasting Eric's time. But I let it go. I had already told Eric the situation, and he understood and told me not to worry about it. We were about to head out the door when Linda stopped me and asked me, "Aren't you going to invite the others?" Not wanting to get into the reasons why I didn't want Bella there, I caved. The whole family minus John ended up going. I was irritated but didn't make a big deal since it was my birthday. Somehow, Jade and Bella started talking crap about the other, which ended up in Bella crying and running to her room saying in a babyish tone that no one loves her and that we all hate her, which made Luke and Linda go comfort her. A while later, we finally got to the restaurant and sat down, and Bella started crying and saying the same stuff. Again, adding in that she'd be better off dead. Everyone started babying her, so I started crying in front of everyone. I managed to calm down before we left the restaurant because I had to go get my cake. They didn't plan on buying me one. I get my cake and headed home, and yet again Bella started crying. I had enough at this point and told her to pull it together that she's not ruining another birthday by making it about her, and she left. I had subpar cake, a present that had no thought put into it. Then when I finally got out of my bathroom from crying, I told my sisters and mom that I was extremely disappointed in them and sad that they couldn't have given me just one day about myself and that they could behave on other people's birthdays but mine's. I was crying by this point, and everyone tried telling me it wasn't their fault, and so I screamed, "You all ruined my birthday. Do you want a cookie or something?" They all got offended, and now Bella is telling everyone that I hate her and want her dead. Jade is acting like she did nothing wrong and blaming me for being ungrateful for the gift she gave me, and Linda is also blaming me for everything.
Am I wrong for asking my friend to not bring her dogs to Friendsgiving? I'm 26 female if it matters. So my friends and I do a Friendsgiving every year. I hosted this year for the first time, and I planned everything from decorations to food, seating, etc. One of my friends, Kara, 24F, has 2 dogs that she basically takes everywhere. They're not emotional support animals or anything. She just likes having them around. Normally, I'm okay with her bringing them here for a visit or 2, but last year at our other friend's house, one of her dogs snatched the dressing off the table and gobbled all of it, while everyone was watching the game in the living room. I didn't think this was very funny at the time and decided this year to make sure she can't bring her animals to my house. Yesterday, in the group chat, I reminded everyone of the start time, and I added, "Also, just a heads up, no pets this time please." I didn't single her out specifically, I just made it a general statement. Immediately, Kara messaged me and asked if that meant her dogs. I said yes, that I really preferred she not bring them because I don't want dog hair in the food. I don't want to be managing animals in addition to hosting. And I don't want a repeat of last year. There was also going to be several small kids attending, so I wanted to be extra careful. Well, she didn't like that, and immediately got super snarky and upset. She mentioned she had no one to watch her dogs, and I said they should be fine at home by themselves for a few hours, yeah? She said no because they had anxiety issues and need to be with her at all times. I said that's unfortunate, but I won't be changing the rule I set. She told me her dogs are her family, that they're better behaved than most adults, and especially better behaved than kids, and that I was being controlling and purposely excluding her. She said that if her dogs aren't allowed, then she's not coming. I told her I'd be sad if she didn't come, but the rule stands because I'm hosting this year. She's bringing the cake and the potato salad, and I asked what her plans were for getting the food here. I even offered to pick it up. She then said she has zero intention of giving any food if her family isn't welcome. While frustrating, I just told her that's unfortunate, and that I wish she'd just be a little more understanding, and then had to scramble to find dessert on potato salad at a grocery store halfway across town to fill in. Now a different friend said I could have handled it more sensitively, and that maybe I should have just let her bring them, because it's the holidays and it's not a big deal. But honestly, it feels like a big deal to me, because it's my house and I'm the host.
Am I wrong for not wanting to fight in a relationship? I, 19 male, and my girlfriend, 20 female. We recently had our 9th breakup, or 12th, I don't know, lost count. And it felt like a final one. We only talk once in a week now. And that too minimal? Actually, we had a lot of fights in the relative. I do believe a lot of was my fault. A lot was her. But here's the thing. The fights were always initiated by her. And so the breakups. She thinks fight is normal, Everyone around her thinks the same, she tells me. I haven't socialized much for 2 years, so she tells me I live in some hypersensitive world. She calls me over the top and too sensitive. I don't want to leave her, so can someone help me understand her? I can give some history. Her mother is a narcissistic, she says. Her father abused her, and she lives in toxic household still. Fights here mean name-calling. Mr. Saint, stupid, get lost, Mr. Angel. Mr. Do everything right. Robot, emotionally flat, emotionally dense. Last fight, she got really angry and called me narcissist. Today she said I am not the person she loved, and I don't get to feel hurt either, because I'm too sensitive to my hurt is not justified. She was asking me what issues I have surrounding our relationship, and why I avoided conflict. When I listed the reasons, part of them was her hyperaggression, and this is how our conversation ended. She's amazing lady otherwise.
My partner arrives around the same time as my sister's friends, and we do introductions, and my partner and I let them know that we are just going to the club next door to his friends to see what the vibe is. We leave and hang out there for a mere 20 minutes before my phone starts buzzing with texts. My sister texts me, "Can we join you guys?" and tell her she's more than welcome. She then says, "We want drinks." And I ask her who they want drinks from. She says from my partner or his friends. I ask her why don't they buy drinks for themselves, especially because they didn't know that the guys will be here until the last minute. So I ask what was their initial plan. She then says it's the rule for guys to buy them drinks and that my partner should get them Hennessy, which happens to be really expensive. This made me furious and I left her on red. About a few minutes later, they come over to the club my partner and I were at, and they stand next to us, looking annoyed and bored. They did not introduce themselves to my partner's friends either, and were giving them a cold shoulder but somehow expected them to buy drinks for them. I walk up to them to see what's wrong, and they say I'm being a pick-me for not tricking the guys into getting them drinks, and that we are just girls, so we deserve princess treatment. This confused me because they had no idea the guys were even going to be there. So why did they come out knowing they have no money? I had money saved up for this night, and my partner communicated with me days prior that he can only spend money on me if we go out. They threatened to go home if I don't make it happen, so in a fit of rage I said, "You didn't budget for drinks, but you budgeted for entitlement." Interesting strategy, ladies. My man is not your sponsor. Matter of fact, nobody in this club is. If your pockets are empty, then stay home. My sister looked at me with horror in her eyes and told me to apologize, and I told her I wouldn't, especially because she's morphing into her weird friends too. It became a back and forth thing, and she told me I'm an idiot, and soon after, they left me. I honestly was annoyed and didn't care at that point. She hasn't spoken to me for days and has made our mom really upset at me for this. I'm just going to go back to my place and end my visit with her. So am I wrong for shutting down my sister and her entitled friends?
Am I wrong for backing out of my dad's Christmas party after his fiancée took my baby to meet Santa behind my back? I live a 5-minute walk away from a mall, and they opened up their Christmas display a few days ago. My husband and I were planning on taking our son, who is 8 months old, there for his first Santa visit this past Saturday. My dad's fiancée is a very self-centered person. Most recently, she tried to post about my pregnancy on social media before I did, and confirmed their wedding date, which has since been changed twice at my sister's birthday party. I'm not fond of her, but she's not usually too hard to tolerate. My immediate paternal family gets together for a small party every year on Christmas Eve. This time, my dad and his fiancée are hosting. I was going to attend it with my husband and our son. Last Thursday, I had a business meeting while my husband was also at work. My dad and his fiancée came over to babysit. I spent some time chatting with them before leaving, and I mentioned our weekend plans, including how we were taking our baby to see Santa. When I got home, my dad's fiancée showed me pictures of herself with my baby and the mall Santa. I don't even have pictures of just my son, She's in all of them. She explained my dad had wanted to take a nap, so she took my son out on a stroll. She went to the mall, saw the Christmas display, and couldn't resist taking my son there herself. Let me make this clear. I'm not too much of a Christmas person, and neither is my husband. But she was well aware we were looking forward to doing this with our son. I'm also upset that my dad napped while babysitting, because we wouldn't have had them watch our baby if we knew it would ultimately just be her. And I never gave either of them permission to remove my child from my place while babysitting. I confronted her and said we wanted to take him ourselves, but she acted confused and claimed she didn't realize it was such a big deal and just wanted to have some fun with the baby. My dad also dismissed my feelings and said I was being dramatic. I grabbed my son and told them to leave. My husband was as upset as I was. We decided we wouldn't attend the Christmas party anymore. We'll figure out something else, but we don't want to spend our baby's first Christmas with her. We made it official over the weekend. A lot of my family has replied that they're not coming if I don't, so now my dad is begging me to change my mind. There's still over a month left before Christmas, and I want to sort this out as soon as possible. I don't want to attend, but I also don't want to ruin the party. Am I wrong?